Hello, investors. This is Ted Zhang, portfolio manager with Revere Asset Management. Today is Friday, January 24th, 4:40 p.m., coming to you from Fort Lauderdale with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video in the last of this week. Stay in the market. We are in an uptrend. Pretty much, we have the four coveted green arrows after today. Although small caps are still below their 50-day moving average, we don't believe that should prevent us from moving the trend gauge to the green up arrow. And therefore, we have the four coveted green arrows, and that means we are in a grow mindset. So what happened today? Bulls exhausted after 7 out of 8 days up. Handle time, we'll see. It'd be very healthy to build a high handle here before we make a leg higher. 21 over 21 list was up 0.34%. The main reason being is that Twilio reported earnings and it was up 20% today. 8 stocks up, 1 neutral, 12 down. Big 8 down 0.46%, RG8 down 0.53%, S&P down 0.29%, RSP pretty much flat, down 0.09%, Qs down 0.57%, QQEW about the same, down 0.46%, Dow down 0.32%, mid caps about flat, small caps down 0.3%, 60/40 equities bonds up 0.3%, 0.03%, and GROTECTION down about 0.42%. So heading right into the charts, as always, starting off with the S&P 500. Give me 1 second. Let me bring out TradingView as well for Bitcoin. So yeah, starting off with the S&P 500, we had these mini three waves down. We bottomed on January 13th, hammer candle, and so far we've pretty much had a lockout rally, 7 out of days up into all-time highs from the lows end of the range, which is a pretty amazing move, and we've seen many stocks make powerful moves as well. Today, we gapped up a bit, made a new all-time high, but so far we reversed back in, and good news is that we did close above 6,100. The action today, we go on a 5-minute chart. As you can see, we gapped up, pretty much had a 3 waves down, and we closed relatively strong. At least we reclaimed that 6,100 level, and that means we're still above that base breakout level, which is a great sign. You can see definitely more up volume in this recent action than down volume. RSP building a handle above the 50-day. QQQ also starting to build a handle here. This is great action. You can see some volatility contraction here. You see volume drying up as well. QQEW, same thing, building the right side of the handle. We broke this downtrend line, ripped up the right side of the base, and now building a handle here, seeing some volume and volatility contraction would be extremely healthy before we make a new leg up. Dow Jones, similar action, ripped up the right side. Love to see a handle. Really tight inside day today. That is constructive. Mid caps starting to build its own handle here as well. Russell, below the 50, building a low cheat. This is definitely one of the weaker of the indexes. Persistent high rates have contributed to that, and it's also just less quality stocks in general. VIX, even after today's action, continues to stay below 15 the 200-day. So that's precisely what we want to see. There's not fear in the markets yet, and this is telling us perhaps this is just a normal exhaustive day that will potentially lead to a handle, and we want that actually. We don't want accelerated, super climactic moves. Dollar continues to pull back, rejected the 21 EMA. That's starting to turn over as well, and we closed right on the 50-day. This is going to definitely be a tailwind for equities. We broke this upper trend line. Dollar starting to come in here as well. Gold almost made a new all-time high. GLD has really just ran up the right side of the base. Some sort of handle like that also would be really constructive before we take out 257.27. And the weak dollar is definitely a tailwind for gold as well. Silver, pretty much doing nothing, but the 821, 50, and 200 are converged and sitting right on top of each other. So I do expect some volatility expansion if we get above that level right there. Gold miners kind of a wedging-ish action, but since gold is strong, miners are strong as well. Really just have to see what it does here because these moving averages are all over the place. We're right into, let me see what moving average this is. This is the 100-day. Actually want to put up the 8 EMA for the purpose of this video. 8 and 21 have crossed up. They're crossing the 50 now. So we're above all those key moving averages, but we have run into that 100-day, which you saw before. Some more resistance at 39 as well. Bitcoin saw relative strength today. It's actually green right now. It poked its head above that 107,000 level, which actually had me thinking this might be the breakout today, but continued to build this handle. I would say 108,000 would be the true breakout, which would be above that left side peak. And that's exactly what we're watching. I went more in depth in crypto in our podcast, so definitely go check that out if you missed it. Bonds, we'll go over here. Go to some bonds. All yields are down from the short end to the long end of the curve. And that will be a tailwind for equities for sure if we do continue to pull back in rates. So that is it from the inter-asset correlation. Now let's jump right into the tail of the tape. Still operating under the bull case, well above the 21 EMA. We're just up 7 out of the 8 days. So some digestion, some pullback, even a third of the move or half of the move is healthy and constructive. News, nothing really significant. We had some Trump executive orders yesterday. One was on crypto, establishing a crypto workforce or working group, to use his language, that consists of David Sachs, the pro crypto SEC chair, and Scott Bessent, and as well as others, to really draft over the next 6 months a regulatory framework around crypto and evaluation of a Bitcoin strategic reserve. Keys today, S&P versus 6100 support. We did hold that. Q's flag around all-time high. It's pretty much what is happening. And Russell continues to reject the 50-day. Day count up 7 out of 8 days. It's up 7 out of 9 days. 7 days above the 8 EMA, 7 days above the 21 EMA. Expectations are positive. Strong sectors today, bond prices, utilities, communications, staples, China, Bitcoin, gold, and silver. Sectors that were down, dollar, tech, energy, oil, uranium, and semis. All we did today is buy a bit of VRT on a pullback. Definitely could have seen better action, but it's only a starter position, so we're not too worried here. Beta 1.57 and open heat 5.62%. Soon we'll also have the turbo protection actions in the tail of the tape as well. So definitely look forward to that. Bottom line, bulls exhausted after 7 out of 8 days up. And what I said, is it handle time? Potentially. We're starting to see a lot of handles in various indexes. Monday's keys, same thing as today. S&P versus support 6100. The Q's flag at all-time high level, and small caps versus the 50-day. Before I get into the 21 over 21 list, I want to do some charts of interest myself, the names I'm watching the heaviest or the themes that are strongest. Bitcoin continues to really build a handle here above that level, and that's another buy point coin with the deregulation coming in from the Trump administration and just more regulatory clarity. Talked to many crypto industry natives. Some have been executives at major blockchain companies and projects, and they say that the crypto community is extremely excited. Their view is that they've become criminals to the government, and now the government wants to hold Bitcoin. So it's a huge 180 flip, and it's a paradigm shift for the crypto industry. And that Coinbase should benefit tremendously. They're established, regulated, and they got the earnings and the sales. We'll see what happens with this. And then the strongest group that we see, even though they're all pre-revenue, pre-earnings, is OKLO, SMR, and NNE, which are small modular reactors, nuclear reactors to help power data centers. And we know the tremendous energy that is required for these AI infrastructure projects. So on to the 21 over 21 list now. I'll just go from the top, share a few names, and then go to the bottom. Twilio, they pre-release guidance, and the markets loved it, up 20% today, even though closed lows of the range. Just great action, held up well. RS line new highs as well. MBIZ, we own this in TurboTection, and that is the difference between Turbo and Grow. Don is less likely to buy a name as fast as MBIZ with wide ranges and ATRs. But on Turbo, that is precisely what we're doing. Broke out this cup with handle. Really nice move so far, up about 15%. Volume came in, closed at new all-time highs. Relative strength, all-time high as well, with the markets pulling in. So this is showing great RS today. Avgo, also decent action, green while the markets are red. Poked his head out, but still rejected the 250 level, which is the second day's high post gap. Get above that and likely see higher prices. Hood, just a beautiful follow through action. Just one, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days up in a row. Volume is expanded as well. We're 20%. If we get to that 20% plus mark, we might see double ants again, like we saw back here. So Hood is definitely bullish. Earnings in 19 days, triple digit earnings for 4 quarters in a row, mid double digit in revenues for 3 quarters in a row. Looks really great. Gold, we talked about this already. CEG is a utilities name that we talked about. Highest volume ever. U-turn, which continues to make new highs. We are also about 8 days up in a row here. Relative strength, new highs. Wall of blue volume. This is part of the AI energy infrastructure play, and they own many nuclear power plants. Reddit tried to poke its head out, tried to make a new all-time high today, but got rejected just 50 cents below. Still fine action. It has gone decently choppy in this area for Reddit. On the downside, A-Lab. Don talked about this in the video yesterday. Even though we sold and we got shaken out with a close above the 50, we talked about how if the 8 and 21 declining, it can often act as resistance and it can suck in pullback buyers. And that's precisely what happened with A-Lab. Rejected and we're pretty much down to where we sold it. And this looks bad with a close below the 50 on the weekly, a close first time in literally 6 months below the 10-week moving average. That is definitely a sell signal in these fast moving markets. VRT, we did buy a little bit today, back to the top of the range. We'll look to add and accumulate more if this works out. They have their fingertips all over data centers in every component and area of data centers. I'll actually bring up a graphic, but I don't have it handy with me. Well, I'm sure we'll show that sometime else. GEV is a name we all own. It's just got extended 25% from the base breakout. Just completely normal pullback so far, still well above the 8 EMA. Rocket Lab, reversal, still above the 8 EMA at 30 level. Marvell, just normal action. Really nothing to say here about the 8 EMA. And when our top 5 names are still acting pretty well, except A-Lab, which is just closing below the 50, that's a great sign. Names aren't collapsing left and right. And the probabilities point towards probably just a handle forming. So, with that being said, I'm going to end this video. We're going to wrap it right there. And yeah, if you're interested in becoming a client or if you have any questions, please reach out to my email, ted@revereasset.com. So my Twitter actually got hacked and I locked out right now. So if anything, post anything, don't click on any links. It seems like the hackers may have gotten locked out as well because my profile is still intact. But yeah, I'm locked out right now. Doing my best to recover my account. So, I mean, you still can follow me there, but I don't have access to it. Our phone is 855-REAL-WEALTH. That is 855-732-5932. Our website's revereasset.com, and our YouTube is Revere Asset. If you're interested in becoming a client, definitely reach out to us. We'd be happy to talk over with you your investment goals, your portfolio, do a free portfolio review. With that said, today is Friday, January 24th. This is Ted Zhang with Revere Asset Management, telling it like it is. Thank you for listening and have a great rest of your week.